Okay. Call the meeting to order. It's 5:20. Roll call, please.
Robert Beaver.
Here.
Betty Bruce.
Yes.
Kristen Crafts. Craig Robach. Justin Herder.
Here.
Richard Berg.
Here.
Lydia Miller.
Here.
Gordon Shallow.
Here.
Charles Fargo.
Here.
Open meeting certification. This January 20th, 2020 meeting of the Mid-State College District Board of Directors and all other meetings of the board and or its committees is open to the public in compliance with state statutes. Notice of this meeting has been sent to news media and designated persons in an attempt to make citizens of the Mid-State Technical College District aware of the place, time, and agenda of the meeting. Open forum is the option of the board chairperson, and ground rules have been established to ensure the orderly conduct of business. This is a meeting of the district board open to the public and not a public hearing. Persons who wish to address the district board may make a statement as long as it pertains to a specific agenda item. Individuals should not expect to engage in discussion with members of the district board. The district board chairperson may or may not respond. Is there anyone who wants to speak? Hearing none. Action on December board minutes.
So move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Action on the November 21 board advance meeting minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions, discussion? If not, voice, please, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Consent, sorry about that. Consent agenda items.
We reviewed the consent agenda items in the finance committee, and I'd make a motion to approve them.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the consent agenda. Roll call, please.
Robert Beaver.
Yes.
Betty Bruce.
Yes.
Justin Herder.
Yes.
Richard Berg.
Yes.
Lydia Miller.
Yes.
Gordon Shallow.
Yes.
Charles Fargo.
Yes.
Board chairperson's report. Welcome everybody to the meeting. Actually, got a good crowd tonight. Kristen has been asked to be excused. I have a statement to read in recognition of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Today, Americans across the country celebrate the federal holiday honoring the life, work, and achievements of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a great and influential American civil rights leader. He felt that everyone should have the equal rights to right to work and make an honest living, the right to vote, the right to a good education, and the right to use all public places. In 1983, President Reagan signed a bill declaring that beginning in '86, the third Monday of every January would be celebrated as a holiday known as Martin Luther King Day. Congress' intention was to have that holiday serve as time for America's, to reflect on principles of racial equality and nonviolent social change espoused by Dr. King. During his lifetime, Dr. King sought to forge common ground on which people from all walks of life could join together as equals to address important community issues. Service, he realized, was a great equalizer. As he once said, everyone can be great because everyone can serve.
I'd like to add something, if I may. I read something this morning that was new to me. You know, he worked on racial equity a great deal, but just before his death, he was working on economic financial equity. And there was going to be another march or big gathering just weeks before he was killed in Washington, D.C. on the Mall, working towards economic equity. And specifically, he was advocating at that time, this is a long time ago, a guaranteed annual income concept, which is now starting to gain some traction in politics and being tested all over the world to see if people have a basic annual income, have that financial equity of a basic level. And he was just about to embark on that effort when he was killed.
I didn't know that either.
You know, Jesse Jackson kind of used that as a takeoff to, King was going to do that, and then Jesse Jackson, the kickoff to try to have, particularly in Chicago, Illinois area, people have black people have businesses, so they had money of their own, and they employ their own and stuff like that. And it never really got going. It just had it. Anyway, thanks, Chuck. Winter Board Association meeting. The Winter Board Association meeting was held January 16th to 18th in La Crosse. The meeting included a presentation on institutional research and Board Member of the Year presentation. Anybody like to comment?
The board member presentation won't be till summer.
Right.
It was delayed. I thought the in-service was very good. The tour of Western, very, very, very nice. I mean, anytime we tour a college, it's nice to see what they're doing. But the morning in-service was good. I don't want to take your thunder away with your
just gonna-
test.
Yeah, just gonna say from an institutional research perspective, seeing the capabilities of the data system as evidenced by, I put on everybody's place, the 10-question quiz that we all tried to guess at and learn from was really insightful.
Really insightful.
Yeah.
Some people were better guessers than others. I want you to know that. I was not one of them. And some people, instead of doing their own, work together.
Yes, we did.
But a lot of good.
Yeah, it was excellent, I thought, too. I agree with that.
And one of the examples that they gave, again, that was insightful was they pulled up, I don't remember which of the colleges it was, but they were looking at the nursing program, and you could see by year, all the courses in the nursing program, what the pass rate was. And you could tell right away that the pharmacology
Yep,
was the stumbling
the
block.
hardest one every
It was in
year.
red right across. So it's like, oh, okay, that's good insight, for the program, for parents, for students to know that, that's going to be the tough course, but just to think about how that applies to all programs.
Well, and if you got K-12 people, well, Craig's not here, but your counselors need to tell kids who are interested in the healthcare field that they need some chemistry, and math stuff, for that's one of the big deals with pharmacy, so, yeah. ACCT Legislative Summit is in February 9 to 12 in Washington, D.C. Betty, Rick, Chuck, Bobby, and Karen plan to attend. For those of you who have not heard us talk about the National Legislative Seminar, it's an excellent, outstanding seminar. Community colleges and technical colleges from across the country attend that. You hear probably 3/4 of a day where you hear presentations from speakers. And then there's Wisconsin people meet and talk about the 3 or 4 points that they're going to talk to all of their legislators about. And then the next 2 days you really spend on up at the Capitol, meeting with legislators and talking about your talking points, Wisconsin's talking points. Are often a little different than ACCT or in common because of the community college concept. We tend to be more toward the training and technical field. So it's an excellent seminar, well worth it. The time of year is not real good because you can stay an extra day or two sometimes because of snow. But anyway, it's an excellent conference. Spring Board Advance, I think we got those emails. Some of us have not responded. Has anybody responded?
Yes.
Okay. I said some of us, I know who it is.
Just remind me of the date again, every time you have it, okay?
2020 board appointment. Later this week, a letter will be sent to the county board chairpersons announcing the start of the process. The appointment committee will seek members for elected official and 2 additional member positions. And Angie acts as a board appointment committee liaison and kind of keeps everybody on track legally. And I assume it's Betty and I and Rick who are up this round.
And I got the email on the, what is it, SEI? That SEI
Yeah.
confirmation or whatever.
Financial.
The economic
Oh, yeah,
statement.
that's your,
Or whatever.
that's your ethics statement.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
when
it
you
is.
disclose all your investments and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. And if you don't do that, they'll be right after you. Seriously, yeah, yeah,
That's annual, right?
yeah.
It's a-
We're all required to do that every year. Okay, I think, aren't the administrators too?
Yes.
Okay. The next meeting will be held Monday, February 24th, 2020, here at Rapids. Committee meetings at 4:15, and unless otherwise announced, regular board meeting, or committee of the whole at 5, and regular board meeting at 5:20. Any additional comments? If not, that concludes my report. Chuck?
No, wait,
Or Foundation, I'm sorry.
wait, she's here.
I saw her this afternoon, too. Even talked to her. I was not trying to ignore you, I just forgot.
How can you forget me?
I don't know, Jill.
Well, thank you, everybody. Happy New Year, since we haven't seen each other since before the holidays. So, the foundation is coming off a record annual appeal, time period. Last year, we brought in about $21,000 worth of annual appeal from the November 15th to the end of December. And this year, we brought in $33,000. So thank you to everybody who has given generously to the foundation through this, annual appeal. That's a 58% increase, so we're pretty excited about that. Even though we got a ton of snow this last weekend, summer is on our mind. We have been diligently planning our summer events. We got 4 RFPs for our summer golf outing, and next week our board will decide on which location we're going to be heading for our summer golf outing. Lake Arrowhead, Century World, Stevens Point Country Club, or Bullseye Country Club are the 4 that we got bids from. We have secured Sand Valley's golf outing for August 5th, and we are doing the trap event again in September. So our summer and early fall are pretty booked. We are also doing free tuition Tuesdays for the rafters as well. Our high school scholarship window just closed last Friday. I'm pleased to say that we had another increase in applications from our K-12 schools. We had 121 seniors applied this year for scholarships compared to the 86 last year. So we are continuing to build that momentum. The scholarship application is evolving and the login procedure is improving with each window. So we had less and less challenges this time around, so we're pretty excited about that. The applications go to reviewers this Wednesday, so it's pretty exciting. Activities that we have been up to, we are updating our investment policy, and with that, our board had made the decision to consolidate our investment firms from 2 until 1. We are now strictly, our $3.5 million of endowment funds, investment funds are now held with Wood Trust. So we are pretty excited that it's going to be streamlined for audit purposes, quarterly statements, annual reports, and all that kind of stuff. So, and we've been very pleased with Wood Trust as far as one of our investment firms. We are working on a number of sponsor scholar agreements, hopefully to have them in line for our April application for new and continuing students that will be attending in fall. Right now, there's 3 that have verbally committed to sponsoring students with our Sponsor Scholar program, so we're excited about that. The last thing I wanted to show you is you had heard from me last year that we were working on the credit card portal for donations. And I'm happy to say that we got that up and running. And it went live on December 15th, right before Christmas break. And when we came back, we had already had over $600 of donations in just in the 2-week window. So, and we really haven't promoted the fact that that is an ongoing opportunity. Our events will be able to be sponsored on that. Bill's logging in, so hopefully I can show you where that's located on our website. And as you can see, go to the Give Now tab there. Thanks, Bill. As you can see, every page on the top in that maroon banner, the word give is up there. It's a constant opportunity for people on any page that there are to give to the foundation. And it will go to this form. This first sheet is all your basic information and what you want to sponsor and, you know, how you are associated with the foundation or the school. The second page here, I might have to fill this in so I can show you. Let me quick fill this in if you don't mind. The second page is where you can choose your events that you want to sponsor and everything. And then you hit an agreement form that you agree that, to the terms that it's going to be sent to a third party for your credit card information, so it's all secure. We don't get any of that information. It goes to a secure hub. And it's pretty intuitive. So we get this information for our records so we can put it in our accounting firm information. So it has all the details on what you're sponsoring. Sorry, I didn't realize it was gonna be. I've tested this numerous times and so.
We're all just gonna write your phone number down. Tell them.
What organization or whatever, what is that portal? Is that PayPal, is that Stripe, or is that?
It's TouchNet.
Okay.
And it's, we have TouchNet for a number of things, don't we, Brad? For a number of our, credit card stuff. So faculty and staff friends, here you can designate which campaign you want and so forth. Once we do our sponsorships, sponsorship levels will be in here for our events. And then it will pull up all the, and you can put the donation amount in, you can do a recurring payment, you can do a one-time payment. And if it's not a dedication to anybody or in honor of anybody, you just hit the next page. And then this is the form that it's that legalese that you have to click and hit submit. And once you hit that, it redirects you to the credit card information. So that first page is what we get the information, so we know when we get the credit card payment into our checking account, where to apply that dollars to. And then this is all the secure stuff that goes into the other portal to the bank, and it's automatic. We don't see any of that. And if you'd forget to do a recurring on the first page, you can do it again here. And then you just enter your information and then you get a receipt. But I was happy to see after the Christmas break that we already had donations and it wasn't something we had actively marketed. And as marketing helps us put together all of our events and so forth, it's going to be a focal point for the online giving element. So we're pretty excited about having that option.
And does TouchNet take a percentage?
We pay our merchant fees on that.
So that's just the cost that Visa or whatever
Correct.
charges for a transaction?
Correct. And we won't know exactly how much that's gonna be until we start seeing, a number of transactions. But it's small in comparison to having the convenience of having people be able to do the credit card giving. So we're pretty excited about that. So, and that's all I had unless you had questions for me.
Progress.
Thank you.
Jill.
Thank you very much.
Shelley, President's report.
Yes, so in addition to Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we have two people that, today's a special day because we have two retirees that were able to come to our board meeting. The executive leadership team made a decision a few months ago that we really wanted to thank our retirees in front of our board and give them an opportunity to, in case they wanted to say something. And we're so happy because we have our first two really that have taken the opportunity. Volker Gall, our Stevens Point dean, had already been here and had done, I think, the Stevens Point presentation. Otherwise, I think he would have been here as well. But we have Jeff and Patrice in the back there. And I want to tell you a little bit about Jeff. And maybe, Jeff, can you stand for just a second? Or you want to wave? You can wave. Everybody knows Jeff, right? Jeff's a great guy. So Jeff started at Midstate, I believe, in 2001 as a custodian 1 in Marshfield. So he started at our Marshfield campus. He was promoted in 2008 to a custodian 2 at our Stevens Point campus, and in 2012 transitioned to become a facilities technician. Jeff has been one of the most smiley, helpful faces at our Stevens Point campus. We're going to miss Jeff deeply. One of the employees at Stevens Point, Debbie Check, shared with us a story about you regarding that first week on the job. I can repeat it, I think. But he definitely has made Midstate a great place to be, and I can personally tell you that when I came in the doors, he was one of those employees that gave me a great first impression right away. And Jeff, you're amazing. So here's the story, and do you think you know what the story is, Jeff? No, okay. So I'm sure as I start to tell it, it'll all come back. So Debbie had gotten some flowers, Debbie Check, for her birthday. And displayed them at the front desk, and this was his first week on the job. And at the end of the week, after the flowers were wilted quite a bit, Jeff had seen them and asked who they were for. And Debbie and Betsy at the time told him they were for him, as a joke, since this was his first week. Now keep in mind, the flowers are all wilted. So Jeff took the wilted flowers home thinking they were a welcome gift. When he got home, he showed the flowers to his wife, who must have wondered why they were wilted. A little later, his wife read the card and discovered the truth. The next Monday, Jeff brought the flowers back, and they all had a good laugh, and the practical jokes never stopped. Most people don't know that Jeff is an accomplished guitar player and a good singer, too. He has serenaded many people at work and volunteered to entertain for a couple of student events on our patio. Jeff, thank you for serving our students. You really are not going to be able to be replaced. It will be different at Stevens Point. So you're welcome. You're welcome. And oh my gosh, we have another great individual sitting right to Jeff's left, and this would be Patrice. Can't you just see the smile? I mean, same thing. I mean, when you walk into our business services area, Patrice is the first face that you see, and definitely has made that area just a welcoming part of our college. So Patrice is a Midstate alumni. So I'm sure that helped make you who you are today. She had graduated from our office assistant program. Patrice started at Midstate in 2005 as a part-time library assistant, and after a year, she moved into a full-time office assistant position in student services, and approximately about 5 years later, moved into our finance or business service area as an administrative assistant. In 2014, she became the business services assistant, which is the position she is currently holding. So I think you're set to retire in about 2 weeks. So we still have some time to talk her out of it, we keep saying. Patrice has done so much for Midstate through the years and is such a role model. You've been an inspiration, Patrice. We are deeply going to miss her as well. Again, I can't imagine our finance department without you, and I think Rob is definitely feeling that as well. And so I had asked Rob to give me something about Patrice, and so this was the story that I got. So it seems that Patrice is quite particular with her eating. She enjoys snacks of carrot sticks and grapes, which are cut in half throughout the day. It is rumored that she once had told someone that you don't need to eat a full meal every day. Most of us in business services do not subscribe to that theory. In any case, one day, Rob's wife, who's a professionally trained baker, so that just makes me want to drool right away, made a carrot cake for the office. Rob had brought it in around 8 a.m. and walked to the back. While the rest of the staff was admiring the cake and talking about it, Patrice pushed past him, saying, "Are we going to cut it? Let's cut it." Keep in mind that this is 8 o'clock a.m., or 8:02. So I saw Rob at that point said, "Well, okay." And as he walked past her desk, she had a very large, really large slice of carrot cake, which was devouring rapidly at every hour because, of course, it was so good. But definitely a heaping dessert can sometimes be in order for Patrice. But again, you two are going to be so missed. And I don't know, we want to give Patrice a round of applause, but is there anything... Is there anything you would like to say? You don't need to, but we just want to say thank you. So.
Thank you very much. It's been a great place to work and really wonderful people that I've been working with and learned. It's a wonderful experience.
I feel the same way. It's been quite a trip.
Well, thanks for letting Midstate be a little part of your story, so thanks again. So the rest of the president's update, just a couple things. So since our last meeting on December 16th, it seems so long ago, we had a strong finish to our fall semester. We had nursing pinning, we had law enforcement academy graduation, and we had our annual winter employee celebration. So here's some of the pictures from it. You may recall about 2 years ago, I had came to you because we were having this holiday reception and people were really not coming to it, and we got an employee group together to say, what should we do? And what we have done is on a particular day, we have said from 11 to 1, our college is going to close, and we're going to be able to have a nice lunch and really just be able to have some time together. I'm happy to tell you that we had over 90% of our employees come to this event again. It has been well attended since we have started it. We did do a survey on the event at the end and said, hey, what do you think about it? Because we always want to improve it. And we found that 93% of the people liked the ambiance of the event. So if you are a Stevens Point person, you can go and be with your people there. And if you're in Marshfield, you stay in Marshfield and Wisconsin Rapids. And we, through the use of IT, have all of the campuses connected, so you can literally see the people eating in the Wisconsin Rapids campus, and I can give remarks and everybody can hear it, and I know everybody loves my corny jokes that I tell. But 93% liked the ambiance, as I had said. 87% said, I like the connectivity. It really is working. And 82% liked the ugly sweater contest, which is something that we have done as well. In addition to our on-campus activities, we had a great community event right before the holidays, and that was in Adams Friendship area. Midstate had sponsored the Lightwire, the A Very Electric Christmas, and really kudos to Jill to be able to, or actually with Lori Inda, of putting it all together. But this is my Deb Stencil and myself with one of the characters that night. Most of the executive team was there, many with their spouses, and it was really a time for us to introduce the show. Gosh, I think there was over 200 people that was there, but it was a completely dark show. And you can see with all of the apparatuses that young lady is wearing, it was amazing. It was just it was a great night. So for Midstate to be able to help bring that to the community, we were very, very happy. So we have, talking about retirees, we have identified our replacement for Volker Gall, our Stevens Point campus dean. And I'm so happy to say that our newest person is here. So Ben, can you stand for me? Yay! We're so excited, Ben, to have you. And we had a number of really well-qualified applicants. We had both internal applicants, we had external applicants. Deb had led the charge with the interview team, and we're just so happy to be able to give it to someone internally. Ben is so deserving. Ben, some of you know, he is currently an instructor in our renewable energy, HVAC, and construction trades. He started at Midstate in 2008. We're so happy to have him come on to the management team. We think he can bring so many perspectives. Chris Severson, who's our executive dean in the back, he's currently serving as that interim dean of the campus. And I know Deb is working with all the powers to be to kind of make sure we have a smooth transition for Ben and make sure that we've got classes covered and all that good stuff. But just so excited to have you on the team, Ben. Very
Can I
much.
add something?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Ben and I were involved in a number of the Constellation Energy grants, and a lot of them included educational programs at the area K-12 institutions, and Ben was a rock star
I
with
know.
all of those courses. So.
Yeah, we know that. We're very excited, and but he will be one of our new faces. So, and then on January 8th, when we came back, the president's office, we launched an electronic idea suggestion box for all employees. So this is what it looks like. And so on our intranet, as you know, we very much value feedback. We want to make sure that our employees have an avenue to always be able to ask a question or share an idea or make that suggestion. And we have 4 campuses, so we thought, how do we make this happen? Do you literally put a hard copy cardboard box at every campus, and is that how we would take these ideas? But we're a technical college, so using the people and talking with what could we do on our intranet, you can click on this. And when you click on it, it's a little form that comes right to me, Office of the President, where you can share your idea and your suggestion. And I can tell you that since January 8th, I think I have received 4 or 5 suggestions. And I have to tell you, I think there's 2 of them that we could just like do right away, which definitely makes sense. So just want to, you know I'm all about that feedback. And this is a way that an employee at any time can click and share something with us. They can do it anonymous, or they can sign their name. And if they sign their name, I'm trying to at least send an email back saying, thank you. And as we maybe work that idea or suggestion, we'll keep that person informed. So I thought you would very much be pleased to see that. On January 10th, for the 18th consecutive year, we hosted the District 2 DECA competition. We had over 500 high school students representing 12 school districts for the event. We have some pictures here. Amazing to be able to have them in our doors. Talk about a recruitment opportunity, right? To be able to see what Midstate has to offer. In addition to the 500 high school students and the 12 school districts, there are 80 business and industry professionals, parents, administrators, school board members, alumni, post-secondary educators that definitely have to help us make this event possible. So and board members as well. I need to make sure I add that, right?
You helped us.
But just a great day. And I need to make sure that I give kudos to Lincoln High School, Eric Seiler. He is the Business and Marketing Ed, Career and Technical Ed and Youth Apprenticeship Coordinator. He has a title like many of our staff do, but he really is amazing, and he really coordinates a large piece of it. And then Missy, who is our Dean of Business and Technology, works collaboratively with them. So if it was not for Eric and Missy, this would not happen. But again, the 18th consecutive year. Inside our doors, all the managers, they've been compiling information needed for our operational and capital budget planning for next year. Busy times. A lot of busy work is happening in academic and the finance area. We are just finishing our winterim session. Hard to believe, but we are. Our faculty are back this week. We're just really gearing up for our spring semester. At our board meeting next month, you will see our mid-year dashboard. So we're in February, so here we are. Last thing is I'm hoping to travel tomorrow to Madison. We have a state board meeting happening in Madison tomorrow morning with a president's meeting to follow. And then just a reminder, as Bob had mentioned, that our next board meeting is February 24th. Rather than February 17th. And if you may recall, we had moved that just for your consideration regarding some of my travel. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So that would end my report.
Now, Chuck.
Okay, the Finance Committee met earlier, reviewed our prior notes. The consent agenda items, all questions were answered. Rob went through the treasurer's report, and if you look at page 21, you see the budget modifications made in the month of December. Down at the bottom, you see a net of $80,000 in increased $80,200 in revenue, and the same amount for expense changes. We got a number of new grants. The balance out, some shifting being done from various categories, but the net is no change to the fund balance. Next page shows the current budget as adjusted with the latest budget modifications on the prior page. So the expenditures are up $80,200 in the total current budget column. Expenses up $80,200. And just a minor shift down in the changes in fund equity, but the net in the total is zero. The next page shows the current actuals for the fiscal year. In the month of December, we had expenditures exceeding revenue by $2.5 million. But for the year, revenues are still ahead of expenditures by $5.6 million. We are halfway through the fiscal year. Current expenditures are what we can control most. And we're 46% of the budget has been spent with half the year gone. So we're doing good there. Down in the changes in fund equity, you can see we've built the fund equity because our revenue is ahead of expenditures, but as the rest of the year goes by, we will be exceeding, the expenditures will be exceeding revenues until the end of the year, when we expect to be using $500,000 of fund equity. The next page shows the balance sheet. Rob pointed out that the cash and investments total $14.8 million. That's 52% of the monthly maximum back in February of 2017, and it's just a few $100,000 more than last year at this time, primarily due to the positive investments that we've had in 2019. Any questions on the treasurer's report? Okay, the next item that Rob went over with us was just a quick review of the fiscal 19-20 revenue and expense forecast. I think you all should have a copy of that. The budgeted fund equity use is shown as $500,000 there. We've had some tuition shortfalls, but some offsetting government and student fee revenue. So we're very close to net zero there. Wages are a little bit over on full-time, but with the part-time wage savings and current expense savings, there again, we're close to a net. So there's no anticipated budget changes necessary. We're still expecting to use the $500,000 of fund equity by the end of the year. The next piece that Rob shared with us was a status report on the OPEB trust. This is the investment balance. Good news that shows in our balance sheet. Our original fund, as you recall, was $4.5 million set aside, and it has grown to $6.2 million as of the end of 2019. Stock performance in 2019 was extremely strong, as you're aware. The fund went up 20% in 2019. Total liabilities of the OPEB is $6 million. So from that standpoint, we're looking like our fund is exceeding the liability. But Bob explained that if you take a look at the present worth of all the future expenditures that we expect to make on behalf of retired employee benefits, that comes to $8.8 million. So over the course of time, we'll be paying some as you go that will help reduce the expected payments of the future. So we're hoping that in 4 or 5 years, the balance in the OPEB fund will be sufficient to cover our remaining present value of the future expected payments, so that we wouldn't have as much of, or maybe no, pay-as-you-go requirements for the OPEB obligations. And Rob mentioned that he does have quarterly calls with the investment firm. At this point, they have some bandwidth where they can adjust the portfolio balance, more aggressive or more conservative. They're managing that to Rob's satisfaction, and he'll continue having those calls with them to make sure that we're staying appropriately balanced. And then the last item that Rob shared with us was the budget development calendar for fiscal year 2021. That's in Exhibit P near the end of our packet. Rob, just most of this is the status quo, what they do every year. A lot of work internally by the staff to create the budget document for us. But a couple of changes this year is a separation of the operating expenditure budget and the capital expenditure budget. And the Finance Committee will be meeting in February, the first week of February. And obviously, the whole board is welcome to attend that, but we'll be dealing with the capital budget there separately and focus on that. And then have the operating budget review in the May time period, which again, I don't think a date has been picked for that, but the entire board is welcome to attend that, where we go over the budgets in detail, and then it will be summarized at the following board meeting. Any questions on any of that? Rob, anything to add?
That covers it very well.
All right, that concludes our report up.
Eddie? Academic and Student Services Committee.
Well, this was a committee of one that met earlier tonight, but I had company from Dr. Deb Stencil and Dr. Christina Lang. And we just had informational items that we covered. Under the advisory committees, you have a handout at your desk. It says the Advisory Committee Membership 2019-2020. And you can see yellow highlights showing that the member has either been a renewal or a new one. And we reviewed the membership of the School of Advanced Manufacturing and Engineering and the School of Transportation, Agricultural, Natural Resources, and Construction. Now, that's a committee. Member name, company, location, end of term, and member status were reviewed for each program in these two schools. New and renewed members are highlighted, as I explained. Overall, Dr. Deb noted that each program has an advisory committee members that reflect corresponding businesses in the Mid-State District. Unique programs tend to have membership from a broader area, indicating that the program meets a broader employment need. The academic deans continue to recruit members from campus locations that are not adequately represented. Specific attention will be focused on recruiting businesses from the greater Adams community, since Adams is now a mid-state campus. Deb also explained that similar information with the Mid-State Board was shared earlier in fall for the other academic schools. That was our first informational item. The second one, regarding the Connexus Care Grant, Dr. Christine Lang reported that we have received a $5,000 grant from Connexus Care, which is the philanthropic arm of the Connexus Credit Union. It was a collaboration between the foundation and the student services to support the emergency food shelves on our 4 campuses. The $5,000 was used to purchase 4 small freezers, personal hygiene items, and frozen food. The freezers have been purchased and are in place on each campus. Personal hygiene items and the frozen food are being purchased as needed for the food shelves. These items will help all support our student in need. So when I looked in the freezer downstairs, it's got food in it. So it's a great addition to every campus location. And that ends our meeting.
Do
Question?
you know, like Margot and I sometimes have particularly hamburger left because we don't eat all the beef we get, can we donate? Now, this is not
Certified.
bought at a store,
Right.
bought
Yes,
at a locker plant. We can
Yes.
still donate that?
yes, yes. That concludes our report.
I don't know that I want to start that discussion at a board meeting. Justin, Human Resource and External Relations?
Our committee did meet earlier this evening. We had 2 informational items, the first being a legal services update for the year 2019. So the 2018-2019 year was fairly light, or was a fairly light year for legal expenses at $48,931. I should stop 1 second. I should have a sheet that looks like this, a bar graph. There you go. And that goes back, all the way back to the 2004-2005 year, so you should get a pretty good look at what we spent over the years. So one issue that we did look at last year was the Aspirus Midstate Agreement for the Simulation Center. That did require some contracting and some legal work. Other issues were what we would deem normal student, employee, and policy type issues. Nothing really too drastic to report there. Looking at the 2019-2020 year, we're looking very light as of right now. That's kind of a knock on wood, right? But that, we do know that that could change really at the drop of a hat if something were to come up under short notice. So right now, we're looking pretty good. Once again, on the bar graph, you can see all the way back to 2004, 2005. There are two larger spikes on there. One was the 2012-13 year. And if you remember, that's about the time that the Stevens Point campus was being redone. So there was some legal work that was associated with that campus opening, the facility. And then 2016, 2017, there were a few employee issues that were addressed by the legal team. So any questions on that one? Okay. The last item was a workforce development contracts and proposals. Dr. Damrow did walk us through December. And if you look at Exhibit M, that's page 25 at the back, there's two sections. The top section looks at December contracted agreements. These are signed contracts and are contracts that are on the books. They're either currently doing the work or will be doing that soon, and that totals up to $31,984. Then the bottom section is contracts that are in addition that went out to bid, and we do have one of the larger ones accepted. So right now, $16,666 were out to bid, and we have one accepted for a little over $12,000, so that's great. One last number on contracted agreements. So we're roughly at the midpoint of the year, and so far we're right around the $196,000 mark in sales so far as of that midpoint. So I'm sure we'll see some more stats coming up next month with the dashboard. So, yeah,
Very good.
and that's all I have. Thank you.
For committee meeting as a whole, Bobby Damrow gave us an update as provided as to the status of the proposed project at the Stevens Point area. Talking about demand for, high demand for manufacturing, engineering, and apprenticeship programs, as well as some STEM activities. And was based, well, I think we all had that program, was based on a needs assessment and more work with K-12 districts, more skill work and upskill working for incumbent workers in special populations. And we received a number of letters, support letters. Phase one, in terms of one issue, was the land was gifted to us. But there's a question about, is it environmental cleanup? And so the city has a Brownsfield grant for that very purpose, and they offered to use that to pay for it. And that's been completed. There's a pending lab report that again was paid for by the city of Stevens Point with that grant. And providing that comes back clear, and the next step will be drafting an environmental impact statement and go from there. There are some conceptual drawings, and Bobby showed us you go on the website and look for
/partner.
okay, /partner, and you'll see come up and it'll show some of the conceptual drawings. Thank you. Faculty equipment lists are underway being produced. And so far we have 4 cash contributions, 3 in-kind contributions, and 4 decisions pending. And they said they're kind of, Bobby and Shelley said they're kind of on hold till we get some more things confirmed, like with the environmental issue, and then see where we can go, and hope we begin the contribution, the public phase of fundraising open up in April and May. Any questions? If not, discussion, possible action? Yep. You guys need to grab a couple chairs and bring with you. Oh,
There's a chair. I'm just going to stand. No, go. I think this is good. Okay. I think this is good. Okay. As you know, there have been times at your board meetings where I bring in, like the academic dean and associate dean to really provide some school highlights. Well, tonight I have really a privilege here to share with you some things regarding our team, Education Services. This team is responsible for ensuring that we deliver high-quality education and really make sure that we have our assessment strategy in place so that we're assessing student learning in a way that we need to. So these people are really critical. I believe you met Chris Severson, Dr. Chris Severson, who started in October as our executive dean. He provides a leadership and support for Education Services as well as support for me and the academic leadership team. So I'm going to turn it over to Chris. He's going to give you a little introduction on himself and then share a little bit about Education Services, and then I believe the team will share their role at the college.
Wonderful. Do you mind if I drive
No,
up
you
there?
can.
I'll just, we just have a couple slides, and I know this is what's keeping you from continuing moving us forward. So we really do, we have about 10 slides we want to show you to introduce you to the Education Services team and the role that we play here at the college. We really appreciate the opportunity to spend just about 15 minutes with you tonight and have each team member be able to share a little bit about their role that they play on the Education Services team. So again, my name is Chris Severson. I have the privilege of serving as the Executive Dean here at Midstate, as well as extremely fortunate to work with this outstanding team. And we'll allow each team member to introduce themselves as they have a slide that they'll share. But really, Dr. Deb presented this statement as really kind of the role that Education Services team plays. So I thought I'd just read this. The Education Services team ensures that Midstate delivers high-quality programs and instruction. We are responsible for both college-wide and academic-specific processes such as new program development, instructional delivery, curriculum management, assessment of student learning, and technology training. We understand that it takes an educational community to transform lives through the power of teaching and learning. And tonight we just want to share a little bit about how Education Services and the role that they play as a part of transforming lives. So who are we? Education Services consists of 5 team members. We have Leanne Turner, we have Tria Kimball, we have Steve Lowry, we have Liz Hassett, who unfortunately was planning to present tonight as well. She had an emergency that came up with a family member, so I'll just kind of fill in for her slide as well, and then myself. Who do we serve? So our team serves the entire college, both the academic side as well as the staff side. So we have roughly 86 full-time faculty. We support professional development and direct services to 250 part-time faculty, as well as all of our regular staff, which would be about 200 plus regular staff here at Midstate. How do we serve? So one of 2 critical roles that we play, one of them is professional development. And how does that professional development get delivered? And really in two different scenarios. What we call just in case training, which is if you think about your scheduled training, whether that's in service for faculty. Our in service for faculty is going to take place this Wednesday. We get to spend the entire day with faculty and take them through a variety of different trainings. We offer 2 part-time faculty trainings each semester, 1 during the day and then 1 in the evening, so 4 total throughout the year. We provide, and when I say we, I'll say we a lot, really it's the team members in the back there. They provide phenomenal faculty quality assurance courses, so these are the courses that all of our faculty, both full-time and part-time, take in order to be qualified to teach a certain class or in an instructional area. A lot of those courses are taught in real time on the weekends. We just had one this last Saturday, I believe. So again, we're really trying to support both our full-time and our part-time faculty for that continual development. a number of summer series type classes. So if we get a request for Excel training or something related to our learning management system, we'll certainly provide those trainings when full-time or part-time faculty need them or regular staff members need them, as well as lunch and learns. So we have a series of, excuse me, we have a series of classes that we have scheduled over the course of this next semester where we'll get together over the lunch hour and staff and faculty can come into our Employee Development Center and receive that training. Then we have our just-in-time training. So outside of the pre-scheduled type opportunities where faculty or staff can just come into our center just across the hall and have a question related to assessments or have a question related to our learning management system, Blackboard, or I'm having trouble delivering this type of scenario in my class. Can we role play? Can you give us some guidance related to that? And faculty can come in and get that in real time support. This next week, as faculty are coming back and they're prepping for classes, our team is really camping out both here in Rapids as well as folks are traveling across to our other campuses to ensure that our faculty are ready and feel comfortable for the start of this semester. In addition to our professional development opportunities, we also provide direct support. And that direct support meaning anything related to curriculum, our team really takes the lead on, whether those are curriculum modifications that a program goes through or whether it's new program development that takes place. Everything related to our learning management system that we use Blackboard is from a design standpoint and such. Our folks in education services really are the main go-to people. And then we partner with our folks in IT to have that IT support also. Instructional technology, so the technology that you see here in this meeting room, as well as technology in our classrooms, a lot of that feedback, we're collaborating with IT to provide the most updated technology use and most effective use of technology for our faculty and for our students. Related to assessment, certainly we're providing and Deb is taking the lead on assessment. And then, everything that we're talking about here, whether it's professional development or whether it's direct support related to these items, we not only provide that service here in Wisconsin Rapids, but we provide that to all of our other campuses as well. So now is our opportunity to really highlight these team members that, again, I'm just so fortunate to work with. So first of all, we want to turn it over to Leanne, and she's going to share a little bit about her and her role at the college.
Okay. So I am Leanne Turner. I have been at the college for 10 years now, a little over 10 years now. It's hard to believe. My background is K-12. I spent 18 years as a K-12 teacher, and I developed a passion for technology and teaching. And so I got my master's degree in instructional technology and came to Midstate. I graduated, graduated to Midstate. And I am super passionate about what I do. My favorite thing to do is to work with one-on-one with faculty. Some examples of this, last week I had a faculty member come in and he said, I have this idea, but I'm not quite sure how to make it work. So we have a big, full-size whiteboard on the wall in our room, and we whiteboarded it and got all these ideas going, scaffolded the project so that his students are going to be super successful. I love that kind of support with our faculty. Today, I got to meet with a lot of faculty today, but one in particular is, she's going to be teaching part-time for us. She's brand new to teaching, but 6 years ago, she was at a very low point in her life, came to Midstate as a student, went through all of our classes, had so much support from counselors and faculty members, and she's sharing this story today, and Shreya and I are just cheering in the background as she's sharing this, and now she's teaching for us, and she can't wait to offer the support to her students that she got when she was here at Midstate. those, just the excitement of teaching people how to teach and giving them the tools to empower our students to become like her. It was really a neat thing. So you can tell in the picture up there, I love to have fun with our faculty. You will not walk by the Employee Development Center and not hear me laughing. We do a lot of work and we work hard, but we make it fun and build that passion for teaching with our faculty.
Okay. Tria.
I am Tria Kimball, and I am the Curriculum and Assessment Specialist. I arrived at Midstate about a month after Dr. Mondyke did, and I came out of K-12. In fact, I had Mr. Beaver and Mr. Spargo's kids and grandkids in class. And my background is in K-12 and also as I was a stage manager. That was my original training for theater. So my role as a curriculum person is really detail-oriented, the same way a stage manager would be for a show. Making sure that all of the pieces are exactly where they need to be, helping instructors know what their competencies are and how to, or what to teach, and Leanne works with the how to teach it. So we're also working on a big assessment initiative this year. And I think one of my favorite things about Midstate is one day I can be learning about catheters in the nursing area, and the next day I turn around and I'm learning about diesel engines. And I love that variety, I love to learn, and I love to hear the passion that our instructors have for students and for their subject areas.
Thanks, Tria. Steve.
I am Steve Lowry. I've been with the school for 3 years now. My background, technology-wise, was in the Marine Corps. I was a base land administrator. I primarily work as an administrator for Blackboard, helping keeping the courses engaging for the students. I also help out a lot with using the new technology to the fullest and being as innovative as possible with it.
Thanks, Steve. And then Liz, who couldn't be here tonight, she really serves as our PeopleSoft guru. So when it comes to using a tool that stores all of our curriculum, whether that's our courses or from the student side, what we call advisement, she ensures that all of that information is stored accurately, as well as she serves as our liaison between the college and our system office. So whether it's new program development or curriculum modifications that we send down, she ensures that all the paperwork is appropriate and then works with all areas of academics to ensure everything is meeting the needs of our system office. So with that, we really appreciate this opportunity. We understand that Midstate plays such a vital role and resource to the education and economic needs of the community, and we really just appreciate the opportunity and the role that the Education Services team plays here at the college. So with that, do you have any questions or thoughts that we can help answer for you?
Doing a good job.
Yeah, they're awesome.
good
You know, so
job.
many times we profile the academic areas, but these are the people that make sure the academic areas are successful. And many times in a lot of institutions, they're kind of behind, the curtain. Nobody really knows how do those faculty get trained? How do they know how to use the technology? It is all of them. And you will sometimes hear the names of Steve and Tria and Leanne and Chris. And we definitely just wanted to profile it. And I'm so glad, Chris, that you mentioned they are right now located right across the way. So when you're coming in and out of this room, maybe you've kind of wondered what's going on in that area because it is on that main corridor currently. But just kudos to the staff. You're doing an amazing job. You really are. When we talk about quality, it's you all that make that happen. Thanks, Deb.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later.
Okay. That concludes the regular meeting. We now take about a 5-minute adjournment and move into closed session.
Need a motion to,
Yes, we do.
I would move that we go into closed session.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Robert Beaver?
Yes.
Betty Bruce McNally?
Yes.
Justin Ritter,
Yes.
Richard Burden,
Yes.
Lydia Miller,
Yes.
Gordon Shallow,
Yes.
Charles Spargo.
Yes.
You just feel the energy with them.
What's
With that team, the energy, can't you just feel they love what they.
Ready? Okay. The board has reviewed the second quarter performance of the president, and we're extremely pleased. As provided by the president's 19-20 contract, the board has determined and approved a second quarter bonus. Quarter 3 review cannot happen in April, so we'll do it in May. And the president's annual performance evaluation has moved from July to June. Okay?
I'll second. Got a motion? That was
There's a motion,
right?
absolutely.
Second.
Second.
We have to vote on that?
I would assume.
Oh, yeah.
You
Motion
want
made
a
and
roll call,
seconded.
or?
I can do it.
Yes.
Okay.
Angie gave me the names.
Woo!
Bob Beaver.
Yes.
Betty Brusky. Madam.
Yes.
Kristen Krause, Trey Gerlach, Justin Horner.
Yes.
Richard
Give
Murphy.
that-
Yes.
yeah, Pass
Lydia
that
Miller.
down.
Gordon Shallow.
Yes.
Chuck Spargo.
Yes.
Karen wants that, so Andy doesn't chew on her ear anymore.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
We stand adjourned.